Hello there. Welcome to episode 006 of the Spaghetti Stream. We are live, I do believe. Just double check in like I do every single time because I am never sure if I'm live. There we go. Yes, I am live. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. It is 4 o'clock p.m. I never know when I'm going to go live, although it's usually been like around 2 o'clock. I think typically every Sunday. This is not Monster. This is just water because I already drank it. And did 10,000 push-ups in preparation. If you didn't know, I can do 10,000 push-ups. Okay. Well, you're probably wondering what this is. Look at this thing. This thing is crazy. On this episode, we will be talking about some things like AI, VR, and stuff like that. But this is a giant Labubu face plate. Yes. It's almost 2 feet wide. So this is going to be, it's like 21 inches wide, 22 inches approximately. Just finished printing straight off of the Orange Storm Giga printer, which is a gigantic printer if you don't know it. It's in the other room right now, printing the teeth right now. So this is just the faceplate. This is a model on MakerWorld. If you just search for Labubu, there's a bunch of Labubu. It's a Lafufu. It's not a real Labubu, obviously. But you can just search on MakerWorld. There's one where he's pointing. It's like the angel Labubu. And it's like white. It's got black wings. I don't have... Yeah, so I printed one out already and gave it to a friend of mine as a gift for her birthday. And she loves Labubus. And it turned out to be a really cool model. It was pretty big. Like, the bigger size was about this big. Actually, it's a little bigger than that. These are the wings for it right here. So this thing's going to be ginormous. Well, anyway. It's going to be, I don't know exactly how big it's going to be, but if the face is this big, the rest of the head is a few inches wider, so probably another, 3 or 4 inches wider, and then a few inches taller, but then the ears are going to be like that. So, and then that's just the head. So then the body's going to be, it's like as tall as the head, or approximately. It might be like 4 or 5 feet tall, depending on the ears. It's going to be gigantic. Still printing just pieces, just the eyes and the teeth right now. Still got to print like the nose, the spikes on the back, and then the head itself and the body. Those two things are going to take several days each. So this head and a few other pieces that I printed together, the feet, hands, and parts of the ears, that took like a little over 2 days just for that alone. So imagine the body and the head taking another 2 or 3 days each. They're going to take up like the full volume. And I'm going to make videos of this. So you'll see there'll be long form videos. And hold on, let me check on this. Let me just make sure this is correct here. I'm going to make long form videos as well as there's going to be some shorts. I think I may have already put a short up. It's going to be cool though. Let me just double check here. This is giving me a warning, so I'm just going to make sure that everything's good. And my links aren't working. I'm getting another computer at work. They are giving me one because my laptop is like barely chugging along with like slicing. So actually the reason why is because of this Labubu. It cannot slice. I have a MacBook Air M2 and it can't slice the head or the body without just crapping out. It like does not want to, it just freezes basically. So so they are going to get me a, what do you call them? The little minis? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Just checking on the live. It seems to be working. Today we are going to be talking about a few things, and there's a few things going on with AI. I mean, there's always tons of stuff going on with AI, but just a couple things I want to talk about there. VR and AR, there's just I wanted to go over like a bunch of different glasses and how things are kind of shifting. I guess they have been for a while. Things are kind of shifting more toward more toward like regular glasses, like smart glasses, AI glasses, like eyeglasses, instead of VR, like your typical Meta Quest type of VR headset. And so they're shifting more toward that. Now, like smart glasses have been around for a long time. I guess you could call the Snapchat spectacles. I guess you could call those smart glasses, right? Those would be smart glasses, right? I imagine they would be smart glasses. So the Snap spectacles, I guess. I'm just grabbing my chat here. I'm highly organized today. Highly organized. There we go. I had to restart everything on OBS and like log in. So that was a long time ago, the spectacles, right? And then I'm talking about like the first ones. You remember with the Snap spectacles, they put them out in limited quantities randomly. They didn't tell you where they put them, and they were in vending machines that they put in like the craziest spaces, like in the middle of a hiking trail. And then they would announce it, and there would be like a huge line to try to get them. You remember that? Do you remember that? You do, or do you not remember that? Snap. Let me look it up here. It was kind of a crazy marketing. It seemed to work because it was extremely limited quantities, and like it was a new kind of thing. And basically, it was just the glasses that had a camera, and you could take like video or pictures, and then you could just upload them directly onto Snap. And I believe they were like circles, if I remember correctly. This was 2017. London's first spectacle dispensing Snap bot. Here we go. So this is 2016. Snapchat will sell its new camera glasses. And they were selling in these, I guess. Those were it, if you do not recall. So they're only there for a day, I guess. The glasses were like really kind of big and goofy looking, honestly, when you wore them. They were kind of silly looking. Yeah, see, there was circular video, which I thought was pretty cool. That idea of using a circular video, it was unique. And it's kind of like... well, it would kind of like be if your sensor in your camera, if your lens would project fully on the sensor, it would be a circle because your lens is a circle. So it's actually the sensor that is inside of the circle of the lens image, and then it creates a rectangle because of the sensor is rectangular. So it looks like here it's like projecting the full lens, or you could maybe think of like a fisheye, which that's what a fisheye is doing. Well, anyways. Anyway, who cares? And there was like controversy over people using them, of course, because the people didn't want to be recorded, just like, and people would ask, "Are you recording?" I had them for a little while. Well, they were only $129. And they would just randomly put them out. Nobody would know until like the day of, and then everybody would rush, and then there would be lines. So it was actually, I thought it was a really good marketing, because it seemed to have worked. I don't know. That's pretty cheap though, 100 and whatever it was, less than $200. But it was just a camera, but you could like download to your phone. The only problem is with the first ones, and I don't know about them now, I'm sure the new ones have a lot better features and stuff, but it was just hard to use. It was clunky when you shot video with them, and then transferred your files and everything, and accessing them and all that stuff. They were just clunky to use. So but it was kind of cool, and I liked the idea of them. I just only used them for a little bit, and I was like, it's not really that usable, at least for me. But since then, obviously, there's been tons more, and Google Glass was before that, of course, which I just read. Someone made a comment on an article I just read just like today. It was either, I think it was just a comment, and it was like, hot take or whatever, Google Glass did it right or something like that. And it's basically true because it seems like, well, first of all, that form factor is going to be way better. The ideal form factor, right, is eyeglasses that can be 180 degree, your full field of view of a human eye at least. And maybe even more so that you could see more, right? But let's just say at least full field of view that is just like regular eyeglasses that look nice, that just like look like regular glasses that make you look good instead of these big headsets, right, that we have now, which, oh yeah, I have mine. Just gonna adjust the fan. So like versus this, like, do you want to see me wearing this in a coffee shop? No. But if I was just wearing regular glasses, or sunglasses, that would be cool. And it would just display either full immersive or augmented reality, pass through XR or whatever you want to call it. Whatever they call it now, they call it XR, I think. Which is just like, what does XR mean? Multi whatever. Either immersive or not immersive, basically. And so that's the ideal, of course, right? Is regular glasses that can also give you and I guess those would be more like goggles, because if you're going to be immersive, then if it's glasses, it's not going to be immersive because there's going to be gaps. And then but even goggles could look fine. People would get I think pretty quickly slim, sleek goggles, and this is kind of like futuristic, like anime that you would watch, where everyone's wearing some kind of like headset or eyeglasses of some sort, or goggles. And so people could get used to you looking like you're wearing some goggles, as long as they're sleek enough or stylish enough, versus something like this, like the Quest 3. But all that to say, there's a lot, and currently available. I had AI create a list for me because I had no clue what's going on. So we have the Ray-Ban Meta Smart glasses. Let me just open these up here. And I don't know when any of these came out originally, but let me just make sure. So Meta, of course, has a few different, so they have their Ray-Bans, which I did own some Ray-Bans for a little bit. The Metas, I forgot what model they were. Oh, they have the Oakleys on here too. So obviously they have these with the AI and cameras. They have the Oakleys, which I'll just go to Oakleys, which kind of look interesting. Not bad design-wise, I guess. They're a little funky. That if you looked at those minus the camera, you'd be like, are those like chunky smart glasses that kind of look cartoonish? Yeah, they are. I would say the Wayfarers look the most natural, I guess, as far as like the Meta ones go. Although there's these Skylar versions, which are more like a cat eye type of look, which might look nice. I owned I believe was it Headliner? They had I think it was the Headliner. It was the round ones. I'm pretty sure it was Headliner. I had those in matte black with transition lenses. So it was like the most expensive option. And they were cool, but the battery life was not very good. Maybe it's changed now. I had a couple years ago for a little while. I mostly used them for music. Just listening to music while I was working. It was just like, I don't know, very convenient to listen to. Even though the speakers were not like the most amazing speakers, like wearing headphones like these would have been a little better, but it was just convenient to listen to. And then when people were like talking to me, it wouldn't be awkward. It wouldn't look like I was like trying to pull my headphones off. They wouldn't know if they could talk to me or not because maybe I couldn't hear them. It was just more natural to listen to music with them. And so I was like just listening to music all the time. Unfortunately, because the battery life was low, it kind of sucked to just listen to music for multiple hours. You can only do it for like a couple hours or something like that. And then the battery died. And then video-wise, it was like 30-second video or something like that for shorts or reels or whatever. So it was kind of cool, but I didn't really use the AI that much. I'm guessing the AI is way better now as far as like the features and everything. So I really need to buy another set of one of these to try because the AI has changed so much over the last few years. And then, of course, we have, well, I say of course, but I actually did not know that Alexa had smart glasses. Alexa, a.k.a. Amazon. And they look like they have a few different ones. 2 collections, 1 smart family, Echo Frames, and Carrera. Okay, so they're doing the whole... And I do like the Carrera style, which is these... By that I mean like these particular aviator plastic style, right? Like the plastic aviator style. Which is also very similar to Tom Ford's aviators. It looks very similar. I wonder who copied who there. If they did. But yeah, these do kind of look like Tom Ford. I'm sure there's a Tom Ford here. Is there? I thought there was. Maybe I just found them separately. But anyway, so I did not know Amazon had smart glasses, but apparently they have Alexa, which would that be AI? Alexa AI. Echo Frames. Smart audio glasses designed to help. So maybe they're just audio. And then we also have Now, some of these are more like just audio. So if you go to like, which one was it? Well, I'll just go through them anyway. Some of them, there's just like a bunch on Amazon that are just like smart glasses that are just audio for the most part. They don't necessarily have AI or visual stuff. Like they don't necessarily have a screen or something. We have X-Real and their line of, apparently it looks like 4 glasses, 1 Pro, 1 Air 2 Ultra, Air 2 Pro. Anywhere from 300 to 700 basically. This one says the only true 6 DOF, depth of field, maybe? AR glasses on the market. But a lot of them are around like the $300 mark. The more expensive ones, I would guess, have just way better screens and that sort of thing. I'm guessing it's mostly the screens. The only problem with these nicer ones are they look kind of funky when you wear them because the glasses are like far forward because it has to accommodate the large screen behind the front lens. There's like a front lens. I don't think they're going to show a picture here because it doesn't look super nice. But you can see this screen behind and then like the lens in front. So, and it's like fairly thick. Let me see if we can. Yeah, so you can see this guy. Like it looks kind of derpy, not going to lie. So like the glasses themselves might look realistic-ish, but you can see like the, what do you call this? The arm thingy doodle goes behind your ear. It's like very fat and chunky. So that's kind of like, okay, obviously that's fat and chunky because it's got like a big battery and stuff in it. And then it's like sticking out way in front of you. So I'm like, what's going on there? So I wish someone would come up with a style that looks more like cool goggles, which would be, like I mentioned before, like some sleek goggles, which wouldn't be like the Wayfarer style, and so they might look a little kind of weird, like why are you wearing goggles? But at the same time, it wouldn't look funky like this. Like this, they're going, let's make them look like Wayfarers, Wayfarer glasses or something, like normal glasses, styled like a normal sunglasses. But because we have to accommodate the screen behind it and all this stuff, it's going to look weird and funky because it's going to be sticking out and all this stuff. Instead, go with like a new design, like make a goggle design. And then you can kind of fit everything in the goggles better. And then it's just a new fashion statement versus trying to make it fit inside of a traditional shape and then because you're trying to fit it all in a traditional shape, you have to change it so much that it looks just funky. Does that make sense? Did any of that make sense to you? Do you understand? My bad. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I hope so. I hope so. Let me show you kind of what I mean. Let me try to show you what I mean here. So let me just find a couple examples. And there are actually smart goggles. So, you know, if it was like something like this, you know, it'd be like a fashion statement, but you could fit everything better because it's got all this meat all over it, right? Instead of using like the traditional like Wayfarer design, which everyone seems to be using. I guess maybe that's like the most popular, or one of the most popular shapes. I don't even really like their traditional Wayfarer shape, to be honest with you. Not a huge fan of it. Or like the Walton Goggin goggles glasses, which, you know, there's just more meat, like I said. You know, there's more body for you to put all the electronics and battery in and stuff. And you could have a big head strap that goes around your head and put the batteries in that. And then it's kind of like in between your traditional eyeglasses, you know, the Wayfarer style. It's like in between that and like a Quest 3. Find a middle ground in there, and I think people would accept it. Not everyone would be like, well, I'm going to wear these because I'm like weird and stylish. But I think a lot more people would versus the other options. Okay, I keep clicking. I created a new that screen that just popped up scene on my OBS I was going to do a VR streaming on my VR headset. So I'm going to have to do it next time because I didn't set it up. I was still working on it. So it was going to be like my point of view showing the screens in front of me, and then like showing you all this stuff on the screens in front of me, and then having another camera where you could see me with the VR headset. I'm going to do it next time. It's going to be weird. And then we have Vitcher, which is also the same as the previous one, the X Real, whatever. Where they have like the screen behind the lens. And I probably some of you know what I'm talking about as far as like what the name is of this technology. I have no clue what the name is. And they're anywhere from 400 to 550, so they start a little bit higher, but they don't go as expensive as the previous brand, which was what again? X-Real? Yeah. And their best one is what, the Luma for businesses and prosumers, or the Beast. Field of view on these is what, 58 degrees, so that's not that much. But again, it's not trying to be 100% immersive like a VR headset, for example, which, to be fair, is also not really 100% immersive because the field of view on this thing is like 110 degrees, something like that. So it's like, meh. It feels like you're wearing restrictive goggles with these. But it's, I guess, more immersive, right? It's all kind of blocked off black. We have, what else? Rokid Max 2 AR glasses. And this is more of what I'm talking about. Like, this is just like, it looks like a stylistic choice with all this like meat, I'll call it frame meat. All the frame meat. It's more of a stylistic choice. But again, you can see it's kind of like floating up. I would say make it more like goggles, you know? Like they're halfway there, in my opinion, with this particular technology. Because these look more like, what would you even call that? They kind of look like flight goggles, you know, like old school flight goggles, which maybe that was what they were trying to shoot for here. But I don't know. I think design could be better with a lot of these things. These are $430. So We have Ray Neo Air 3s. Ray Neo. I think these are the similar style with the LCD displays, OLED displays. I think I just figured it out because I don't actually know the technology, but I guess it's like a mirror. So there's probably a display up here at the top, and then it goes down here, hits the slanted mirror, and then goes into your eyes. And then if it turns off, you can see right through it, right? So I'm guessing that's what the technology is. These start at 270, go up to like 350, 380. We have Camelo Music Shield. Now these, I believe, are more like smart glasses, which that's kind of cool, actually. You can dim them. And then these may just be music. Yeah, built-in audio, tint adjustable, and that's kind of it. I don't think it has like screens or like AI or anything like that. But they look cool. Like this is more of what this like style of what I'm thinking of. Although these almost look like safety glasses, but still kind of cool. Oh, I guess Shaq wore them. Interesting. Picture of Shaq over here. Nautica Smart Eyewear powered by Lucid. So these are on Amazon, and this is more like a smart glasses, which is like all over Amazon. Which $99, and it comes with like speakers and microphone, basically. So Bluetooth connected. There's a bunch on it. There's like a million of them. And then we have Even G1. Let's take a look at this. There's a few more here. I'm just looking through. These look a little bit nicer. These look more stylish. First eyewear designed to seamlessly blend stunning aesthetics with digital functionality. You'll get undisturbed real-life experience while still being connected. Feel free, just on standby mode, so you can focus on the details that matter when they matter. And these have like a text screen. So this one's a little different than the ones which have like the OLEDs with the fat. So you can see limited information. It's not like a full like color display. It just looks like just text. But this is more like if you're not going to do like full display, or if you don't want to have that compromise where it looks goofy, but you get like an OLED display with 58 degrees field of view, but you want to have some information, I think this is a really good compromise because you get really good looking glasses that look just like regular glasses, but then you get information and in text form. And my guess is you could even get like low resolution images with that as well. I mean, I like these because if you're gonna wear like these circular glasses, you might as well go all out and get like the funkiest looking ones. With the top bar is what I'm talking about here. Makes it look kind of like very unique, I guess I would say. Oh, unbox therapy. So here's some examples of video, what you see on the screen.
I got LASIK about 2 years ago.
Let me see if I can find...
I used to wear glasses. So even Realities decided to send me these. With a condition, I could say whatever I wanted. Sometimes I have like this weird bug with the glasses where like only is great to look at. Outdoors, it's almost like any other screen. I find looking at solid or darker objects in the shade makes the letters more legible. If you look up at the sky, it's very hard to see. It can also apply to monitors at work, all depending on what you are fixating on the screen. Also, not that you would do this, or at least I don't think so, but display brightness is inconsistent.
So these, I think, would be a good compromise. With giving you some information, giving you a screen of sorts, even though it's all maybe text with some icons or just like icons or whatever. But also not looking goofy, like the what are they called? The X Reel, where they specifically make them sticking out of your face because they have the OLED displays. Yeah, X Reel and the Vitchers. So I think these are a good compromise. And then this one, I think the website on this is like one of the best designed. These are called Holiday with an A, H-A, Holiday. They have a bunch of different products here, it looks like, including rings. They're saying these are lighter than your sunglasses, but I actually don't know anything about them. I just found them today. Let me just see if I can find like actual product here, how it works. Designed for everyday use. Digi Window Tech. So they are AI glasses. We have ring control. I'm just trying to find like. Can you order? Okay, here's a video. Let's watch the video here.
How to jump into unfamiliar conversations with Halliday.
But
Halliday.
The Beatles. Their first album, With the Beatles, is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it looks like it'll show you stuff in real time. It looks like it'll listen to maybe even shoot video of what you're talking about or what you're experiencing in real life, and then it'll give some information.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, sure. Actually, fun fact, Please Please Me was the first album by the Beatles, and that was released in 1963.
No way! Dude, your memory is on point.
Halliday AI agent.
I don't... Okay, the marketing, I don't know. I personally think that's dumb. I don't see how... Why would you want to market it that way where you're like, hey, you can look smarter in front of your friends with these glasses? People are going to catch on that you're wearing AI glasses, and then they're going to be like, actually, when they know that, they're going to be like, you just said that because you read it from your little screen. I think could be very useful, but I doubt people are really going to be using it in this way. I mean, maybe sure some people for a little while until people catch on. I don't know. I think that's kind of lame marketing. Okay, it can do other stuff. AI translation. Oh, the same guy. Is he going to try to impress the girl now? Is that what's going on?
How to dive deeper
Are all
into
these commercials going to be about impressing other people with how great you are because you have AI glasses?
local culture abroad with Halliday.
Is that actually going to work? That kind of marketing? Are people going to actually buy it because of that?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What?
It's okay. I can translate it here.
Okay, this I guess is a little bit better marketing where it's like something extremely usable with it. Although obviously you can do this with just your cell phone. You can whip it out and be like, hold on, let's use Google Translate or Gemini or whatever AI can do that now, I guess. I've just been used to using Google Translate for a long time. But you can just now use AI to translate, which is cool. But maybe this is more convenient. Maybe you don't have to pull out your phone. Maybe you can just be like, hold on, let me just tap.
你可以说中文。
那我跟你说啊，我强烈推荐你吃这家的红烧牛肉面，他家的牛肉超多，而且很实在。
So potentially, depending on how fast this translates and displays it, it could be more seamless and talking to someone with a different language. And maybe, it says speaker here, maybe it tells you, and I wonder if the Meta glasses do this where it speaks to you what you need to say back.
是第一次来中国吗？那我强烈推荐你就点这个菜，你一定要
He's
试一试。
actually looking up in the corner. If you have to do that, I mean, that's going to look kind of goofy, like looking in the corner. People are going to be like, why do you keep looking to the up and right? Like, what are you looking at? That could be distracting. Like, maybe it's better if it's in the center. I don't know. Maybe you can like move the screen. Oh, I want some ramen. I'm gonna be real with you. I want some pho or ramen right now.
Translation. Never miss.
I already ate my spaghetti, but that's spaghetti is Italian ramen. I'm just saying.
Behind locals' recommendation
That
ever.
probably offended a lot of people. Okay, what else they got here? Secret
How to
spreadsheet?
own the stage with Halliday's secret
cheat sheet.
Hey James, can you give a speech for the newlyweds in 10 minutes?
What is he gonna use AI to create a speech?
Gonna make this speech perfect.
And
Yes.
now, let's hear how it
Oh, no,
all
maybe he
began
was
from
creating it.
Bloom's best friend.
Maybe he was writing it, so they weren't going to be like, just use I to create a speech.
Hey everyone. It's such a privilege to be with you all here today and celebrating these two amazing people.
Now, this could be a very useful thing with these glasses, is giving speeches and where you have to read it from a teleprompter or something. Like government speeches and stuff, or you could just like, I guess, it depends on your style, right? Or what it is. Like if you're giving like a speech that you read, or from a teleprompter, or if you have like notes, or giving a speech just off the cuff from your brain. That's stylistic. Like if you're doing like a TED talk or something, I think they use like teleprompters most of the time. If you something like this, like you probably want to have rehearsed it and just say it off the cuff, right? Off the cuff, meaning what I mean by that is just from memory. I would think.
As their very dear friend, I can still remember.
Okay, what else we got here? Audio memo. We got notification. So yeah, it's got a lot of options. Plus, it's got a ring that you can wear with it. There's ring control, all day wear, and so on design. More private and less intrusive display. Rather than on the screen, they have a tiny monochrome display that shows text. Yeah, so that's actually a plus in my mind, as far as like the design of the glasses themselves are much nicer than having the screen with the fat reflective whatever behind it. And as the compromise, you get a small monochrome display with text. But I do like that. Display visible only to you. So this is the display right here. So it's not on the glass, the front glasses itself. Not exactly sure. Slide the module left or right to align with your pupils. Tilt up or down. So I guess it maybe projects onto, or maybe it's just reflective. It must just be reflective onto the glass. That's my guess. I'm not exactly sure, but these are interesting. Those are kind of cool. Let's see what else we got here. So then we have wait, what were these? The Holiday. Xiaomi is coming out. Did I say that right? Xiaomi AI glasses. Their first pair of AI glasses. Wearable AI, always on loan. They look, again, the whole Wayfair look doesn't really do it for me. These kind of just like look like thicker Wayfarers. Workplace assistant. So Xiaomi AI. I wonder what AI they use. Maybe they have their own. D-shaped frame design, electrochromatic lenses, vlog anywhere, immersive surround audio, and so on. We have Brilliant Labs Halo. These look pretty nice. And then these are like, I guess, all the major ones that at least Gemini came up for me. Halo. These are 300. Open source AI glasses for the curious, creative, and forward-thinking. Fresh design and reimagined optical and electrical systems. Halos come equipped with a suite of AI capabilities out of the box, including conversational AI, memory enhancement, the ability to... This is what got me. The ability to vibe code custom apps. Oh, gosh. If you haven't heard of vibe coding, I believe it's just talking to AI and telling it to code for you. And for whatever reason, they call it vibe coding. Because it's just vibes. Stupid. Maybe I should try vibe coding something at some point. But so those are kind of like the big players that I know of. And then there's like a bunch of ones coming out soon. So we have like Mentra Live, Warby Parker and Google partnership glasses, Alibaba Quark AI glasses. So Alibaba, I guess, is coming out with some. Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses Gen 3. So I don't know if those are out or coming out. Meta Hypernova, a rumored model with a display. What is the Hypernova? Meta is reportedly developing a new generation of smart glasses codenamed Hypernova that will be a more advanced version of their existing Ray-Ban Meta glasses. These glasses are expected to feature a built-in display, gesture controls via a wristband, which is codenamed Ceres, and potentially be priced between $1,000 and $1,400. They may also be marketed as Meta Celeste. So I guess these have a screen and the current ones don't? Is that correct? I believe the current ones are just AI with no screen. At least the ones that I had, the Meta Ray-Bans, did not have a screen. So these that may be the big difference here. Interesting. I'm just looking at the. Okay, anyway, I was gonna watch a video, but it wasn't a promo video. It was someone like a YouTuber talking about a bunch of different things. InVision screen, yeah. So I think that's the big difference. Oh my gosh, I have to log in. Anyway, there's not. I don't think there's a lot of like info from Meta itself. Google Android XR glasses in collaboration with Samsung Gentle Monster and Warby Parker. So those are all the main ones that I know of as of right now. And smart glasses are eating VR's lunch, apparently. So like I was just mentioning, and I knew this, of course, but I knew this because I previously read this article. So I knew that the smart glasses were taking over VR. I predicted it. Smart glasses are eating VR's lunch, and Meta's 2025 earnings are the proof. Meta's hardware sales revenue is shifting from VR headsets to AI glasses, and it's shaking up Reality Labs in a big way. And, you know, I mean, this is something that I've been thinking of for years, for, I don't know, a decade plus more, 2 decades, I don't even know how long, that this idea of just like slimmer eyeglasses, just regular eyeglasses, would be kind of way more popular than like clunky headsets. It just makes, it makes obvious sense. So it makes sense that this would be the case here, which I would think you should focus more on that than VR. But maybe it's kind of like you focus on the VR immersive headsets like the Quest 3, you get the technology, and then you can transfer the technology to like the smaller headsets, the eyeglasses, the smart glasses. But I don't think the technology really transfers, to be honest, because it's like OLED displays. And anyway, we have the OLED display glasses, and well, we've seen that they look kind of funky. Christmas 2024 might have been a record time of sales for Meta's virtual reality and augmented reality products, but 2025 is proving to be a very different year for the company's Reality Lab division. So far in 2025, we've seen 2 quarters where Meta's CFO Susan Lee told investors that Reality Labs revenue was driven by increased sales of Ray-Ban Meta glasses and partially offset by lower Quest headset sales. The exact line was delivered nearly verbatim in both the 2025 earnings and the Q1 and Q2 and Q1 earnings calls. Likely cements a shift in consumer interest that we've been seeing since Meta revamped the Quest store last summer. The next 6 to 12 months are going to be huge for Meta's Reality Lab divisions. We're expecting another pair of Oakleys, which we just took a look at, a little look-see at, based on the Sphera style, a third gener... What is the Sphera? I mean, obviously it's the look. That style, I guess. More goggly. Shield, I guess Shield would be the right name for it. Shield style. A third generation of Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, and the company's first pair, which we also looked at, and the company's I think, first pair of commercially available smart glasses with a screen on the lens, which is also what we just took a look at. The Meta glasses with the screens. Meanwhile, the Quest 4 has been reportedly canceled in favor of a radically new design that is supposed to look more like goggles than a traditional VR headset. Since we don't expect this Quest until at least the end of 2026, and I read another thing that was like 2027 maybe, all hopes are riding on smart glasses to continue to push Meta's XR hardware revenue toward continually better places, especially when Android XR's launch is right around the corner. So yeah, it's clear that MetaQuest's ambitions aren't going as planned. While the Quest 2 was a dramatic entry, the Quest 3 hasn't seen the same level of success. I was just in VR chat yesterday. I just jumped in to see what it was about, and I had to leave immediately. I was like, I went to like one of the clubs, and everybody was wearing like cat leather outfits. I was like, I mean, that might be my style in real life, but on VR, nah. Anyway, while the Quest 3 hasn't seen the same level of success, we don't know what the exact sales numbers are for the Quest 3. Many of the games have a lower player count than the Quest 2 compatible counterparts. Well, wouldn't that be because it's compatible with Quest 2, and so there's, you know, if it's compatible with Quest 3 and Quest 2, it would make sense that there would be more in those games because people would still have the Quest 2. Meta's admission of lower than expected sales also help reveal that reality. So they revamped their Quest store, which is now called Horizon Store, since it'll eventually be available on non-Quest branded VR headsets. And then they were talking about the Goldilocks session time, which is just like 20 to 40 minutes, I believe. So like Meta's trying to push developers to develop for the Goldilocks session time, which is just like the amount of time that is required to both make you interested enough to stick around to play, but then not long enough to fatigue you with current technology, current headsets and stuff. So like it was something like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. You need to stick around for that long to be like engaged enough to play, to get over like the initial, I guess, hump of how kind of difficult it is to start playing something or start doing something on the Quest or on a VR headset. But once you're like engaged enough, you can't really spend more than 40 minutes according to the Goldilocks zone, something like that, before you start like getting tired of it, getting fatigued, maybe eye strain, maybe it's too heavy and all this stuff starts getting uncomfortable, getting dizzy, whatever. All this shows that Meta's initial push for big, long, AAA quality games. Like, I can play for over an hour, maybe even like hour and a half with Beat Saber. It's like I'll play Beat Saber for like an hour, and some other fitness games. But that's because I'm specifically like working out, right? And Beat Saber is a fun way to work out. And then I might like throw on like Batman the Batman game, whatever it's called, I forgot. Asgard's Wrath 2 didn't pan out, but similar titles with big names like Batman Arkham Shadow is what I was talking about. And then there's an upcoming Deadpool VR, which I took a look at, which yeah, kind of crazy. Showed more promise. Plus, the hardware partnership with Xbox has driven a lot of eyes to the Quest brand among gamers, with the Xbox MetaQuest 3S selling out at Meta's website in a matter of days. Yeah, I didn't know they had that. I'm not like a huge gamer here, just so you know. But I follow some things. I follow like the meta, really. No pun intended. I follow the meta of video gaming. I don't actually play a lot of video games. I'll play here and there on the VR headset, right? And that's kind of it. However, maybe, but I like following the industry and seeing what's going on. So I've been following like Stop Killing Games, and then what was his name? That was like against Stop Killing Games, and he's lost a bunch of following and stuff, and it's this whole thing. So I'm following things like that, but I'm not like being like, let's review this video game. Although that would be fun. I've watched like video game reviewers on YouTube, and I'm like, man, that's kind of like a fun thing that if you got big and made money off of just sitting there playing video games and reviewing them, that seems pretty awesome. How much is involved getting to that point and where you're like big enough to make money and stuff off of it? I don't know how long that takes. Also, do you just want to like do that? That's a pretty big commitment to like just playing video games all the time. And I'm not that kind of a person, so it sounds cool, but then I'm thinking, how many video games do I actually want to play? And I'm like, maybe I don't want to sit there and play video games all day, every day, forever. However, maybe more importantly to the company's current goals, AI glasses have proven to be a hit with consumers. As of February 2025. Oh, earlier. I always get February and what? No, that's not true. September and November. I get September and November confused a lot of times. February, I don't know what I'm thinking. Meta sold over 2 million Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses and has ramped up production to sell 10 million a year. So these are ramping up, man. The smart glasses. considering and then they have like this holographic. This is what it's showing right here. I don't think they talk about it in this article, but this right here is and Thrill Seeker, which I really like. You could check out. Thrill Seeker talks about this. He talks about VR and stuff. His YouTube videos are also like news like this, but it's more focused on just VR. And but it's like a voiceover, and he shows videos, so it's like nicer than mine. I kind of want to do stuff a little bit more like his here and there, which I probably will. His videos, they're like more interesting to watch because they show video and stuff. Like, well, I show videos too, but I mean, like, anyway, just check out his video. It's his latest video. He talks about the holographic stuff. Where the holographic stuff is right now in VR, you're seeing just like a flat display, so your eyes are always just like kind of fixated on one plane. Where like the holographic type displays are actually depth. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. The recently released Oakley Meta HSTN, which I have not looked up what that means, but who knows? Smart glasses have substantially improved image stabilization and better battery life, and we're expecting even more improvements for the rest of Meta's fall 2025 smart glasses lineup. They just invested another $3.5 billion into EssilorLuxottica. Wow. Parent company behind Ray-Ban and Oakley. Dang, so they're really like, that's a lot of money. Are those billion-dollar companies? I guess they would be, huh? They're in like all everywhere. Even more as both companies release more smart glasses. But while AI glasses have taken off, I don't believe for a minute that Meta expected to have such success, because they were like throwing money at VR. Remember several years ago when the Zuck was like, yeah, we're investing like tens of billions of dollars into creating the metaverse. The metaverse, and everybody's going to go on it during the pandemic, right? And like that's where everybody's going to live from now on. And so he was like, let's spend tens of billions of dollars on the metaverse. When they should have just been creating like normal looking smart glasses, apparently. And initial October 2023 Meta Smart Glasses launch didn't even publicly launch until April 24. At that point, it felt like the product transformed into something completely different. Sales reflected that over the course of 24. Over the years, a common complaint about VR headsets is that they're too big, which is too heavy and too dorky looking. It's something that you wear inside your house. You don't like go out with it or anything like that. And that's my complaint too, although I don't really think of it as a complaint. I just think of it as part of the technology that it is. But that obviously limits it. There's still a social stigma that comes with having something large. While many people have no problem wearing a VR headset, there's still... Is there... I guess you could call it a social stigma? I would just say that because of the nature of how you use it, I don't see any embarrassment with it because you use it at home. So obviously, yeah, there's like, I guess, a social stigma if you walked out in public with wearing it. I wouldn't call that a social stigma. I'd just be like, that's goofy. That's silly. Why are you doing that? That's you trying to be funny? That's funny. Now take it off. Like that's what I think of. Like if someone was at Starbucks wearing them, I would just think they were just doing it just for laughs, right? So I don't know if you call that a stigma, but maybe it is. So Meta is pushed to make its VR headsets look more like glasses. It's a different form factor. I think that this form factor still will be around if they improve it greatly. It's a big difference with like fully immersive versus eyeglasses that are much more limited. And so they're still going to be extremely useful to have fully immersive, big, giant, goggly headsets like that. Several new prototypes give us an idea of what to expect. Something like what you see above this right here is what Meta spends a whole lot of money every quarter developing. While it's several years away, the company's investment in the AR/VR industry is helping it deliver commercially available products ahead of the competition. They don't even say what this is. So this is the, I think I have the article that talks about the holographic, but that's what this is. So basically the holographic is, like I said, it's like depth and in a very small, thin form factor. So ultimately, the intersection between regular glasses and a VR headset is where Meta is headed for the next few years. And this is what I was just talking about. And I didn't even read this article, okay? I was just talking about this. I was like, they need to find something in between regular glasses and a VR headset that's kind of goggly, thicker. And I think that's where things are going to go. There needs to be like a medium. Because this is one extreme. And then the glasses is a, like eyeglass look. Like this one right here is another extreme. And they have both extreme limitations. But if you kind of go in the middle, I think that's the sweet spot might be in the middle. Might be in the middle. Still chunky, but you could get away with it. You're just like a fashion forward, like one of these rappers that wears like ski glasses or something like that. That's what you are. You know? Puffin, the current project hardware that's believed to become the MetaQuest 4, is essentially a pair of smart goggles that weighs less than 100 grams and have all the battery and computing technology in a pocketable iPod-like device. So they are offloading just like Apple's Vision Pros. They had the battery pack. They were still big and chunky and huge and heavy, but they had the battery pack offloaded. So it seems like that's what they're doing here. Eventually, I wonder if they're going to figure out wireless charging, where you could have like your battery pack in your pocket and then it wirelessly charges. But like, I don't know, could it do it from like 3 feet away, 2 feet away, 2.5 feet? Compare that to the current Quest 3. But couldn't you just... Why are they not... Humor me here. Why are they not using a cell phone as the computing power and just beaming the... wirelessly beaming the video to your eyeglass, to your headset? Why is that not a thing? Why your cell phone is already pocketable? Like, why are they not? Is this? I mean, obviously, this is like, I don't know anything about technology as far as this goes, so I don't know how hard that would be. But why not use your cell phone as the device, as the computing power, and then just maybe it needs like some more graphics or something like that. I don't know. But you just beam, because all you really need for the headset is just visuals, right? You don't need the whole computer in your headset. You just need the visuals, so you can transfer data, enough data just to have the visuals, 4K through the air. Do we not do that already? Do we not transfer 4K video through the air already? I'm trying to think. Like, I'm streaming in 1080, but you can stream in 4K. You can watch it live. Maybe there's a big delay. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's just like a huge delay. I don't know, man, but like, I'm just saying, why not do that? Why can't we just do that? Ultimately, the intersection, like, just use your phone as a computing power. And battery. Maybe that's where things are gonna go. Maybe it's gonna be like, yeah, it's just gonna be your phone, but they're gonna beef it up even more. So it's gonna be like beefy phone with big battery, and it'll beam your. I don't know what the video beaming streaming technology would be. Because Bluetooth, I think, would probably be too limiting, unless like there's the newest Bluetooth standard might be able to transfer that much data. There's Wi-Fi. I guess Wi-Fi, you just connect via Wi-Fi, right? I would imagine. Compare that to the Quest 3, which weighs just over 500 grams, and you'll understand the differences this is going to make. So that's 100 grams versus 500 grams. That might happen in late 2026, early 2027. They're going to be sending a barrage of smart glasses. So Meta, it seems like they're kind of like throwing, what is it? What do you throw at the wall and see what sticks? Is it spaghetti? Tea bags? I don't know. And so it seems like that's what they're going to be doing with smart glasses. But weren't they kind of doing that, I guess, with like the metaverse and stuff, you could say, sort of? I guess they were just throwing the metaverse at the wall and seeing if it stuck. They were throwing the whole pot of spaghetti at the wall and hoping it stuck. And it kind of just all slid off and made a mess. Will Meta Hypernova, which with its single lens display and SEMG gesture bracelet, catch on at a smartphone price level, or are consumers mainly interested in these glasses because they don't cost much more than a normal pair of Ray-Bans? Okay, so these are the like the Ray-Bans with the screen, basically. This is a mock-up. So there you go. there you go. And these are the holographic displays we were just looking at in the previous article. World's thinnest VR glasses project true 3D holograms. And now this is still going to be a ways off, but let's see if we can find. And it uses AI enhancement because and again, you can look at Watch Thrill Seeker and he shows it better, but basically, let's see if they have like the actual, no, they don't. There were images that showed like how it was like a kind of a colorful mess and then the AI made it look really good. But let's see, roughly the size of ordinary glasses, the new mixed reality display delivers true holographic visuals in a form factor that is just 3 millimeters thick. 3 millimeters, I think, is like 0.25 inches or around there. Holography, I'm just kind of guessing, offers capabilities we can't get with any other type of display in a package that is much smaller than anything on the market today. Significant step towards immersive, realistic virtual displays. But this isn't something I don't know when this is going to come out. The first phase introduced last year focused on the holographic waveguide technology. So it's a prototype, and yeah, this is going to take a while. But I guess this is probably where things are going to head. You know, like this is probably the technology that things are going to head to, because it's going to be thin enough, 3 millimeters. It's going to be like true 3D. And I don't know how easy it'll be to like make it like 180 degrees or something like that. But, you know, probably costs a lot of money. But this might be it. This might be the technology that gets us to where we actually want to be with this type of stuff. So it'll be something to look out for. And then here's a couple of, oh no, we kind of took a look at those. I was going to look at some of the smart glasses that were coming out, but we already took a look at that long list. And then here's this was funny. The title of this article, Samsung will finally stop screwing around and release the Vision Pro killer. Now, will it be a killer? Because the Vision Pro is already dead. So like Samsung is almost done teasing its first ever XR headset. So what's the difference going to be is the question. Is it going to be cheaper if it's as expensive? Because we know that like Samsung cell phones and stuff are comparable to pricing of iPhones. They're $1,000 plus. Samsung's Vision Pro killer is set to be released. It's called Project Muhan. In the second half of this year, will finally go on sale before the year is over. It's been teasing it for a year now. It'll debut with some high-end specs. It'll come with Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip, pancake lenses, similar UI to Apple's Vision Pro, hand tracking. Displays are likely to be micro LED, OLED, just like Apple's. Also, external battery pack for power to take weight off the headset. So, what's the difference? Maybe there's not going to be that big of a difference other than it's using Android versus Apple. So, kind of just like cell phones, right? And we'll see what the price is. But I guess more competition is good. Although, I don't know that Apple's headset sold that well. So, competition for 20 headsets? I don't know. What is that? But, yeah, it'll be cool to check them out once they come out. And hope it would be cool if they were a different price point, you know, cheaper. And then the final, like, VR, AR, whatever article that I checked out for this video, for this stream. Meta's Reality Labs posts 4.53 billion loss in second quarter. Wait, second quarter? Are we in the second quarter already? I guess, did we just finish second quarter? Are we in the third quarter? When does the third quarter start? I guess maybe August. Meta reported second quarter earnings on Wednesday. Okay, so last week. Revealed that Reality Labs logged an operating loss of 4.53 billion while recording 370 million in sales. Wow. But we know they've been losing money on this for a long time. New immersive computing platform using Orion augmented reality glasses. Prototype. Which one was that? The Orions? Which one were those? Oh, is this what they're talking about? These glasses? Are these the ones with the screen, the visual on the lenses that we were talking about? Developing VR, AR, and other new devices is an expensive endeavor. That is very expensive. Like, how are you spending $4 billion a quarter, or losing $4 billion a quarter on this? Obviously, I don't know what it takes to design, create glasses with screens and like all the tech and all the AI integration and the coding and all that. Obviously, I don't know all that, but apparently it takes $4.2 billion of loss per quarter. Multiply that by 4, approximately. This is like old information. Is this? Yeah, this is 2025. Okay. I was like, is this an older article? So that's what's going on with VR. And it's always changing, and technology is always changing here in the VR sphere. But again, the big thing going on is the glasses, the smart glasses. Is kind of what's happening these days. Seems like it's taking over VR a little bit more, or at least, becoming more popular. It'd be cool to see some graphs or something. Maybe I'll make a graph. And then we can take a look at it. So it was just cool to check out all the different headsets that are kind of out right now or coming out soon. And let's see what's going on in 3D printing. There's not a lot going on in 3D printing right now. I mean, there's some new products. There's like the Eufy Make. Okay, this isn't really 3D printing, but it kind of is. The Eufy Make UV printer, which is like, I guess you could call that 2.5D, although really it is 3D. It's just like it's only like, it's really small layers. It's like 2 or 3 millimeters tall. And then what else? What other products are coming out? I guess like Prusa has come out with, what was it? One or two products. Like, obviously there's like always machines coming out, but as far as like 3D printing technology, I don't know that there's like big technological advancements right now. Not like the VR AR stuff with where they're always like coming out with like the holographic technology and all these different headsets and glasses, smart glass style headsets. But with 3D printing, I mean, I'm doing a lot of cool stuff with 3D printing. So like, there's still this, like, you can do really cool stuff. You can make giant Labubu heads and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, oh, actually, like this blaster, I'll show this to you right now. So it's still cool. You can do cool stuff. It's just that they didn't create some holographic 3D printer, right? that creates holograms and then prints them. But this is what's cool about 3D printing, though. This is the Big Greg Mammoth. This is a Nerf blaster. So this is it's not by Nerf. It's by Moose something or other, Moose Shop. If you search like Mammoth Greg, but it's spelled, I don't know why they did. Spelled with a 4 and a 0. So M4M0TH. Greg. If you search for that, you'll find this online. And fully built. So I 3D printed this. I'm shooting videos about it, and I'll put some videos up soon. But it's not finished yet. Yeah, it probably took like 4 to 5 rolls of filament. Most of it's ABS. But this will shoot the big Mega XL darts. So this will be really cool once it's completed. I'm missing some parts, so they're sending me the parts that I'm missing. And so once those come in, I'm missing like 3 parts. And this thing will shoot through a plastic bucket. This thing will shoot through a Lowe's bucket. Or, I guess, a Home Depot bucket as well. One of the 5-gallon ones. So this will be really cool. But this is the kind of cool thing you can print with 3D printers. So they're still really cool. But there's not like insane, crazy... I guess you could say like... There kind of is, I would say. I guess there's like new technology. There's new printers coming out. They're coming out with multi-tool heads and all this stuff. So that's not exactly true what I said. There's cool stuff coming out. But when I look at all the like headsets from the VR headsets and stuff, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff. But I guess if you look at all the different companies, you could see it's kind of similar. There's a lot of new products coming out with 3D printing. So I'm kind of wrong there. I just didn't think it through, I guess. But I don't know that I would say that unless and this is based on my research for this stream, is like trying to find 3D printing news, like new technologies and stuff. Nothing really popped up versus compared to like all the VR, AR stuff, where like all these different glasses and technologies. So I wonder if there's a difference there in terms of either there's a difference in terms of the technology as far as like how fast it's advancing AR, VR stuff versus 3D printing stuff, or I just didn't find the articles because I just really just used like news.google.com and then did a little bit of searching on YouTube. But there are a couple things, including MakerWorld. MakerWorld. And like army stuff. And this is the British Army. The British Army deploys Bambu Lab 3D printers to manufacture attack drones. So there is a lot of like military stuff with 3D printing. And of course industrial stuff and all that. But military in particular, there's a lot of stuff going on because they are finding ways to... where it's a lot faster to 3D print something in the field, for example, versus waiting who knows how long to get whatever part for something that broke. Or in this case, to print drones a lot quicker than, say, ordering them, as well as for a lot cheaper. So that's what's going on here. They used the British Army, they 3D printed first-person view attack drones. And they used a Bambu Lab FDM 3D printer, which I believe is the X1 Carbon. It's in this picture, but it's like in the background. You can barely see it. It's silver, so it's either the X1E or X1C. And I'm guessing X1. Yeah, I'm guessing the X1C, X1 Carbon. And powered by a portable field generator to produce the drones, technicians from the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers installed batteries, cameras, and circuit boards. This workflow saved time and money. Individual drone acquisition costs went down from $2,000 to just $400. So that's quite a lot. That's less than a fourth of the cost. Quite a bit. They 3D printed and deployed 5 drones along with spare parts during the exercise. And they talk about, I believe, Ukraine, somewhere around here. Speed was another key advantage. Each drone 3D printed and assembled in around 4 hours each. If we had this capacity in the British Army and I'm a platoon commander planning a mission, I could print off some bespoke FPVs now and fly them on the same day. It's very valuable. They were trying to troubleshoot if it was too hot or too cold. They had to make sure to manage the temperature. What did they say? Here we go. 3D printed drones, the future of modern warfare. So this is going to be like, again, like I've watched several like sci-fi animes, and it's always like drones. It's going to happen. Drones are rapidly emerging as a key weapon in modern warfare. In the Russia-Ukraine war, Both sides actively use inexpensive remotely controlled FPV drones for precision strike surveillance and supply delivery. Russia has also ramped up long-range attacks using swarms of Iranian-designed Shahed UAVs to strike targets hundreds of miles from the front lines. So if you wanted to know the latest news in 3D printing, the military is using 3D printers to create drones. Outside Ukraine, San Diego-based Firestorm Labs recently raised $47 million in Series A funding to expand its drone 3D printing technology. This includes the XCell deployable microfactory, which enables operators to produce modular drone airframes and components directly at the point of need. So if you want to start a business, try to get a government contract. You might make some money. And the other thing going on in 3D printing that I found kind of interesting, and there's more stuff going on. I just these are like the top two things that I was more interested in, was MakerWorld, which is my favorite platform for getting 3D printed files and stuff. In fact, that's where I got this Labubu file. I guess I'll put the link in the description for that if you want to print your own Lafufu. Today we're launching MakerWorld crowdfunding, which this was 4 days ago. So 4 days ago they created, right? 4 days ago. MakerWorld crowdfunding, a new way for our community to support the most ambitious and complex 3D printing projects. So you can now crowdfund on MakerWorld. Why we built this? We've seen so many incredible ideas that never get built because they're too big, too complex, or require resources. And I was thinking to myself, why would you need crowdfunding for 3D printing files? But let's find out, because I'm not exactly sure. I was like not exactly sure how useful that is, but I do know that there are people who are kickstarting 3D printed projects. So I guess like to fund your time investment, I guess that makes sense. Also, you get, with these sorts of things, you get perks. So like if you donate to the project, you typically will get something that other people won't get, you know, like unique file sets or maybe a discounted price, something like that. We started to ask ourselves, what if the community could directly support these projects? When you back a project, you're telling the creator your idea matters and we want to help make it real. The advantage on MakerWorld is that our community understands 3D printing and actively seeks out the kinds of projects you want to create, making it the perfect testing ground for your wildest ideas. Now I need to think of something to make. Unfortunately, I'm not the best 3D designer. After all, the 3D printing community has always been about sharing knowledge and pushing each other by trying new things. Crowdfunding feels like a natural step. So here's how it works. It is straightforward. A creator can launch crowdfunding campaigns for their upcoming projects, set a funding goal and a timeline. Community members browse these campaigns and pledge support for projects they want to see completed. So kind of just like Kickstarter, seems like. What makes this work is that it connects creators directly with the people who value their work the most. No guessing about what the community wants. They're showing you by backing your project. So in that way, it seems like a very useful. Like if you can directly see what kind of market there is for something, then that's always good. Because just spending a lot of time on something, not knowing if it'll work, is not great. This is a way that you could see for sure that people are interested because they're actually giving you money for it and going, yes, I want this with my money. So that's a pretty solid way to find out if someone wants your thing or not, is if they're giving you money for it. For creators, that makes perfect sense. Pitch your project. You could even use this for like, I mean, I guess you could use Kickstarter for this too, but you could use it for like a precursor to actually creating a physical product that's not necessarily 3D printed, but eventually that would be created, maybe injection molded or however. But you do it 3D printed first to see what the popularity is, and you create a 3D printed version. Maybe, I don't know if that would be any better than like just using Kickstarter, but it's a thought. Pitch your probably not a good thought. Pitch your project. Submit a detailed proposal outlining your project. What's the model? What makes it unique? How will you use the funds? Keep in mind that high quality visuals will go a long way. Set your goals, define a funding target that covers your actual costs. So what are the costs if it's just like digital? Software, licenses, materials, or the time needed to get the details right. So I guess pick a time that works for you, 30, 40, or 60 days, 45 or 60 days. I think time investment is going to be like the biggest cost to this. Software licenses, not sure about that. I guess like if you need to pay for whatever 3D software. Materials, I suppose that makes sense with like filament, and if you need to buy a printer or something, that makes sense. But I'm just trying to think of like what the actual costs would be here. If you're talking about a 3D printed object, you probably already have a 3D printer and the filament. But I guess yeah, you could pay for the filament and stuff. Create rewards, offer tiered perks to thank supporters. Think beyond generic model offerings. Consider exclusive digital files, behind the scenes tutorial. You could have like a separate design even that's exclusive, and that would be fun. So if you're creating some kind of like Labubu type character, and it was like your own little character, and you're like, I'm going to sell these models, but I'm only going to give this other model to the backers. So it's going to be a limited model. That would be fun for the backers themselves. Launch and connect. So you could do behind the scenes tutorials, custom 3D prints of your design, DIY kits, even customized 3D printed items. The more personal, the better. Launch and connect. Once approved, your project goes live. Be open and transparent about how funds are used and any challenges. Consistent updates and active responses to comments build trust and manage expectations. Just like Kickstarter, basically. For backers, browse active campaigns, pledge support, follow along, connect with other supporters. And it looks like there was invitation only. I don't know if that's the case right now because I have access. Well, you can see it on MakerWorld. I don't know if I actually have access to be able to do my own crowdfunder right now. But let's see here. You can see on MakerWorld here. Here's the crowdfunding. So there's someone creating some sort of bag. And people are actually engaging in these. There's 25 backers on this one, 48 backers, 9 backers, $1,600 for this crazy factory, $480 raised for this tactical cruiser, $204 for Gothic skyscrapers, terrain, maybe. 3D printing kit, create for a real custom keyboard. Launching soon, 530 followers already. So I don't know if this is just because of it just came out and so people are interested in checking it out, or if like this is how it's going to be moving forward, where all these different projects are already being backed. But it seems kind of cool. $1,800 raised for this modular lamp ecosystem. $1,040 raised for a blaster with ammo counter. What is this? What even is this? Ammo counter. Mag fed, holds 15 discs. $1,700 raised for this. Looks to be some kind of factory game. $99 raised for this TPU bag series. So I mean, like, it looks like everything on here people are backing. Like every single thing I've looked at. Now, there's not a lot of stuff. So, like, here's upcoming Brickberry. What is this? Modular shoe design with various add-ons. That's kind of fun. So, it could just be that there's not a lot of stuff right now. And they're probably, my guess is they're just limiting it to things that look good and that are high quality. You know, well-designed and that sort of thing. Cyberflip 1. But as it goes, obviously there's going to be just a lot of like slop and crap on here is my guess. But if you can get in right now, I mean, if you have like a good quality project, you can get some funding for it, you know. So I am going to look into this. It's just that I don't have any like amazing 3D designs like any of this stuff right here. My 3D designs amount to coasters that are like mid-century modern style coasters or just modern style coasters. what do they call that? There's a name for it. It's got like a bunch of lines, and then like my laptop stand that I designed. It's back there. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, I'll show you. This little white square right here is my little laptop stand. I could go and grab it, but okay, I'll grab it. I'm getting it. I did design this, and it's just a simple laptop stand. It's got like a place down here, but like I don't think this sort of thing would like be like would people fund this? But this kind of amounts to what I can design. I could design some other things. Actually, I've been designing like some bodies for Nerf blasters, but that takes a lot of work. So, but anyways, we'll see. Maybe I can come up with something interesting and use this crowdfunding service. So, this will obviously favor 3D designers. Obviously, 3D designers who are good, engineers, that sort of thing. Having said that, you could just pay someone on Fiverr to design your idea for you. So, and that may not cost all that much. A few $100s maybe, but if you got a good idea, potentially it could be. You know what you could do is crowdfund for that, to pay someone to design it for you. That's what the crowdfunding could do. If you have like a good idea, and if you could have like some sort of images, like maybe you pay someone to create the initial images first for your crowdfund. Then you put it up, crowdfund for it, and then you have them design the final thing. Anyway, those are just a couple of things that are going on with 3D printing right now. We got the crowdfunding and British Army deploying drones. What else is going on? I mean, at Matter Hackers, where I work, thank you very much. I believe we have the Eufymake UV printer up for pre-order, at least. Let me just double check. I didn't know we were going to come out with this, but it kind of just popped up. Our boss was like, "Hey, we're selling this now, so you could promote it if you wanted to." At matterhackers.com. How do you spell Eufy? Eufymake? Here it is. Here it is. Eufymake E1 UV 3D texture printer. Pre-order $2,000. And we've been checking it out here and trying it out, and yeah, the prints that it can do are pretty cool. So I will be making some videos, and I'll be printing stuff like directly on my cell phone. I'm gonna see if I can print on Quest 3. I'm gonna see if it can print on my cell phone, and then a few other things. But check out matterhackers.com. They make this video possible, and we do have the Eufymake that has come out recently for pre-orders. So let's see. We are estimating to have it August 29th at Matter Hackers. So this month, the end of this month. Kind of cool. Estimated. But check out Matter Hackers for all your filament needs as well. And I guess that's about it right now. I'll drink my Monster, which is really just water. And keep up with me. As I finish the Labubu on the Orange Storm Giga. This is all just PLA, by the way. This is just MH build PLA from Matter Hackers. It's just their middle of the line PLA. But 3 walls, lightning infill, so it is it's mostly hollow, except lightning infill just has the infill at the top for the overhangs, pretty much, just where it needs it. So it's like mostly hollow. The whole thing's gonna be PLA. It's gonna be like 4 feet tall, and I'm gonna spray paint it. So I'm gonna sand it down. At least the parts that need sanding, like the face, obviously is gonna need sanding because you want it to look good, the face, and maybe the feet, and that kind of thing, hands. But other than that, thanks for joining me today, and I hope everybody has a great day, great Sunday.